Welcome to Inside Boulder News. I'm Ashley Prill. For the next 2 weeks, we'll be featuring extended newscasts in order to show you some of the most engaging and entertaining stories we've told on Inside Boulder News in 2013. We hope you'll enjoy taking a look back with us. We begin with a look at Boulder in motion. This year, the City of Boulder asked for your feedback on updating the Transportation Master Plan. Your input will help advance and innovate Boulder transportation for years to come.
It's already easy to bike and ride the bus in Boulder, but this spring the city is asking for your ideas to make it even more convenient. The call for ideas is part of the 2013 Transportation Master Plan update.
The transportation system in Boulder has really come from this community. The ideas that we've had around the HOP service, the SKIP service, the EcoPass program, the Neighborhood Pass program, what the bicycle system works like and acts like. A lot of those ideas and a lot of the inspiration for those projects and programs and services have really come from the Boulder community. So we really value the community helping us as we continue to refine our transportation options. A primary focus for this Transportation Master Plan update is to look at our complete streets system. Can you take the regional bus, the local bus? Can you ride your bicycle comfortably, walk comfortably, drive? Is it an efficient, complete set of travel choices for the community? And we're looking again at, well, how do we provide those complete streets in a way that works for Boulder?
There will be more community input opportunities this spring. Visit bouldertmp.net for details. A new tool is making it easy to submit those ideas from home. The city is asking residents to design their own transit systems, and transportation planner Chris Jones showed me how it works.
We are here at www.bouldertransitdesign.com, where we have built a Design Your Transit System tool where people can work to prioritize where they would like the city and RTD to invest our resources now and in the future. So when you go to the website, there are several categories that you can click on to spend your budget. Once folks have seen and gotten familiar with the different categories, you can actually get some detailed information on what are some impacts that you can make in those categories. You click on what you would prioritize. And as you click each category, you'll see at the right side of your screen a buildup of your overall benefits of the transit system that you've built. And once you get to $25, it will tell you that if you're going over, you've broken your budget. Your budget's been exhausted. So you have to go back and try to get to the exact $25. So it's really a fun way to take a look at seeing how you would mix and match expensive priorities and ones that are maybe not as impactful, but they're a lot cheaper to implement. So it's really an interesting way to see how we as transportation planners kind of go about prioritizing the things that we can accomplish within an existing budget.
This makes people more aware of all that goes into planning a transit system. How is getting their input in all these areas going to help the city?
We have a lot of online activities. We're really doing more and more online community input because we want to provide opportunities for people to be involved any time of the day. So the information that we are pulling from this tool will be combined with all of our community outreach to really help create a long-term vision for transit in Boulder to help us reach our sustainability goals, our climate commitment goals, and overall transportation goals to change the way that people are getting around in Boulder from now and in the future.
Great. Well, this is an excellent way to get started on that. Thanks for showing us. The Design Your Transit System tool will be online through June. The city will then analyze the results in July and present the overall TMP update to Council in late 2013.
This week, the Transportation Division installed the second Living Laboratory demo project as part of the 2013 update to the community's Transportation Master Plan. This time, officials are testing what is called a buffered bike lane on University Avenue between 9th Street and Broadway.
So the buffered bike lane treatment creates a comfort zone for bicyclists. There is more space between parked cars and the bike lane. And there are some markings there that provide a social cue for drivers that are entering and exiting their car to watch for bicyclists. And we didn't do the whole corridor. We have a bike lane west of 9th Street that is the treatment that it's always been. which is just a standard bike lane. So we'd like bicyclists to ride the whole corridor from Broadway to 6th Street and be aware of and provide feedback to us on the contrast between a buffered bike lane and a standard bike lane without the buffer.
The buffered bike lane living lab will remain in place until spring 2014. The city is encouraging cyclists to ride the new treatments and tell the city what you think. Inside Boulder News will continue to cover new living labs as they're installed throughout the community.
Snow continued to fall over Boulder Tuesday night as council heard a report on the city's snow and ice removal program. Boulder doesn't currently plow all residential streets because the cost would be too high, but council approved a new pilot program Tuesday to plow and treat just those residential streets that have a history of problems. For years, residents have questioned why the city doesn't plow all residential streets. The answer, a double in snow removal costs.
Besides the budgetary impact that we're not prepared for, Colorado's average sunshine and temperatures tend us to make us believe that it's not necessary, so we analyze that.
But there are some streets in Boulder that are slow to melt because of topography and solar shading. Streets with a steep gradient like this one at 8th and Baseline are icy and slow to melt. The new pilot program aims to thaw out some of those problems.
Everything west of Broadway has some components of the grading and the street shading issues. And the areas in this black box are the areas that we're proposing to do the pilot program.
Although plowing those residential areas will get the snow off the streets, staff wants residents to know there are impacts.
There will be snow placed at the end of your driveway. There will be snow up against your parked car. If you left your trash cans out for the day prior, there'll be a windrow, a little pile of snow there. So please be prepared to, clear your end of your driveway on your own because the city does not have the staffing to come out and respond to everybody's driveway and clear it for them.
The pilot will run from December of this year through March 2014.
Transportation isn't the only area where your feedback was necessary this year. The city is determined to give Boulder's civic area a makeover to transform this area into the heart of Boulder. Thanks to robust participation, including from some of the youngest members of our community, city officials had plenty of ideas to choose from.
We have little city planners among us, and they're taking on one of Boulder's biggest projects. A class of 4- and 5-year-olds at the Boulder Journey School has been investigating the Boulder Civic Area project for the past several months. On Tuesday, they presented their ideas of transforming the space to council.
They have been so excited about this.
Tap it a couple times.
We started working on the project in the fall of 2012, and we've been working on it this entire school year. There's been so many ideas that the children come up with that are just so unique and so interesting.
Our proceeds received from the city.
And as you will see, some of the influences that we've had from 4- and 5-year-olds, as I mentioned earlier, we've touched every level of age group. In fact, right after the ideas competition last December and January, they came out to the library to look at some of the submittals, and they had their own selection of the ideas that they liked. The professional judges selected the top winners, and coincidentally, the top 2 winners were the same ones that the 4- and 5-year-olds actually selected.
And I think what's been really important for them is having the chance to be involved in community work at such a young age. And we're all hoping that it's something they take with them.
And we were wondering if it would be okay to approach you all, and we have an envelope for you all with their ideas.
Sure.
I think it's an excellent reminder of why we're doing this, having these kids here who are growing up in Boulder. And whenever the renovations happen, these are going to be the users of this space for the longest time. And so it's really ultimately the reason why we're doing it.
That's been the biggest surprise, is just to see how engaging it's really been for them, and as such for all of us as adults and families and teachers too.
The next stop for the kids is a presentation of their ideas at BMoCA on June 15th. To learn more about the Civic Area project, visit bouldercivicaria.com. Sunday in the Park could be coming to the Boulder Civic area after a panel of judges selected the design as the grand winner from more than 40 proposals around the world. The idea incorporates tree-lined streets, an amphitheater, and a treehouse cafe. The city intends to draw from the best elements in several of the winning project submissions, not just a single proposal, to transform this community space.
The grand prize was selected by the jury because it was the best in every category. It considered the water issues, the placemaking issues, the issues of having a lot of activities, and the civic space. We think this is just the beginning because these projects have features in them that we like very much, but there was no project that had all the features, and there are some features that would have to be modified even in the best projects. So this is the beginning for Boulder, but we think it's a very strong and a very good one. Boulder's a great community. It is already known for its reputation as high quality, and this means you have to go even higher to be the very best.
There will be more opportunities for public feedback as staff refines possible designs this spring and summer. City Council is expected to formally adopt the Civic Area Master Plan in August.
The new Civic Area Plan will come to life over the next 5 to 10 years, with more to come in 2014. Addressing homelessness continued to be a high priority for the City Council and community. This year, with the help of the city and many other partners, new resources are helping the lives of the homeless in Boulder.
Those in need of a good meal in Boulder, whether because of floods or other hardships, can now enjoy fresh, nutritious cooking at the Boulder Bridge House. The nonprofit organization officially opened a brand new community table kitchen on September 6th.
This is Baja Pescado. It's an adaptation from a catfish recipe that we've used for years.
We are able to cook in real time, cook with much more fresh ingredients, locally sourced, in order to provide much more healthy meals for our clients, as well as to provide job training for trainees in our Ready to Work program who are getting back on their feet through paid work and culinary arts training.
I'm part of the Ready to Work program. When a truck comes in, okay, this is what we have, what can we do with it? And create a menu for the following week based on what we have received. Go mostly off donations, but we do have a small budget per serving that we can actually spend. We try to use that for things like fresh produce.
At Bridge House, we provide a range of different services for homeless adults, and it begins with basic needs. But ultimately, to help people get out of homelessness, we need to provide opportunities. And in the last year, we've really been focused on employment. So this new community table kitchen gives us the opportunity to not only prepare the meals that so many in our community rely on, but also a chance to give people jobs in food service and give them the tools to be able to get jobs in the industry and be successful and ultimately transition out of homelessness and into the mainstream.
The Bridge House is frequently in need of donations and volunteers. For more information about the kitchen or to find out how you can help, visit the organization's website.
Imagine the hardships of sleeping on a cold lawn with just a piece of cardboard, a sleeping bag, and the clothes on your back. That scenario became a reality for more than 80 people earlier this month as they participated in Attention Home's annual Sleep Out. The event was part of Runaway and Homeless Youth Awareness Month, which is taking place throughout November. Intern reporter Morgan Boydston has more.
It's important for our community to realize that this is an issue. I mean, there are countries that don't have any homelessness. In a country like ours, a state like ours, a city like ours, we should be able to do better than we do.
Youth homelessness is an ongoing issue here in Boulder, with an average of 213 kids reported homeless on any given night. Solving this problem has been the focus of Attention Homes since they opened a homeless youth shelter 3 years ago. The Sleep Out in November is one of the events they organized during Runaway and Homeless Youth Awareness Month.
It was an amazing evening. Everybody came together. We had an amazing session where people just got a chance to meet each other, hear one another's stories, shared a wonderful meal. We went to bed at about 11 o'clock and slept out throughout the night. They experienced the elements as many of our kids do.
Fairview High School was one of several schools, businesses, government, and other participants from the community to take part in this year's Sleep Out.
We knew we had students who had come through over the last 10 years that I've been here, but we didn't actually realize how many students of ours had actually gone through Attention Homes, because we're not sure at any given time which students are homeless here at Fairview or any other school in America. I mean, it's just It's not something kids talk about.
The Attention Homes shelter opens up at 5 o'clock every evening for kids up to 20 years old to be off the streets and spend the night. They also have the option to stay longer, and young adults up to 24 can receive intensive case management services designed to help them re-engage educationally, vocationally, and find housing.
We're out on the streets every day, connecting with kids and adults on the street and building relationships. A young person walks in here and they say, I'm having trouble with X, Y, or Z. And we've been doing it long enough and have enough of a connection with the service providers in the community where we can help them connect to or actually provide them ourselves with that service that they need.
We provide a program where through street outreach, our day drop-in center and overnight emergency shelter, we're working to let the community know, and these kids know in particular, that this is a safe place for them to come. Our intention, wherever possible, is to help reunify the kids with their families. When that's not possible, our goal is to help them transition to long-term safe shelter.
So I think if we can get the message out and get more people involved, then perhaps we can stop this issue that we have.
So far, various events have raised $80,000 to benefit homeless youth. To learn more about Runaway and Homeless Youth Awareness Month, visit attentionhomes.org. You can also find ways to get involved by volunteering, donating, or even dining out at participating restaurants whose proceeds will benefit young people in need this season. In 2011, voters passed a ballot item to allow $49 million of existing revenue to be spent on necessary improvements around the city. Several of these improvements started to take shape in 2013.
You told designers what you want to see in the Boulder Public Library renovation, and those ideas are now showing up in preliminary concepts. At a public meeting last week, architects from Studio Trope Design shared the first set of drawings for the library renovations based on community input.
We're in the early stages of design. Our design approach has been to incorporate a serendipitous discovery. So along with the curious and engaged community of Boulder, this will provide them an opportunity to explore the library and find new and exciting things with each visit.
We generated a ton of good ideas, some really clever things. So it was a really interesting process and fun to be able to have small group conversations with people. And they were really enthusiastic about seeing the schematic designs.
This is going very smoothly and according to schedule. Because we have such an engaged community to work with, it enables us to collect data very quickly and specific information, and then incorporate that into the design.
The next public meeting is on May 29th. The final design will be completed by this fall, and construction will start in early 2014.
Transportation and other functional improvements to the Boulder Transit Center have been completed. The area is once again open to bus, bicycle, and pedestrian traffic. The updates are thanks to a voter-approved capital improvement funding and a collaboration effort involving the city, RTD, and CDOT. To enhance the efficiency of bus operations and increase pedestrian safety, the one-block section of 14th Street between Walnut and Canyon Boulevard has been permanently closed to auto traffic. More information about this project is available on the city's website.
New artwork was installed this week as a part of a project to improve the 15th Street Design District. Recent Boulder High graduate Isaac Dolores collaborated with city planners, his teacher, and a local artist for more than a year. Together, they came up with a design that is safe for the public, durable, and stays true to his vision.
I just want the overall feeling that I get when coming to Boulder. I wanted to put that onto the railing and the artworks, and I want people to feel that. And I'm thinking when they're looking at the piece, they'll afterwards turn and look back towards the mountains and kind of hopefully get that feeling as well.
Isaac is currently studying at the Art Institute of Chicago and will see his creation displayed on 15th Street for the first time when he comes home for winter break. You can look for additional artwork and improvements to the 15th Street Design District in the spring. All of the improvements are paid for through a capital improvement bond approved by voters in 2011. For details about the project, log on to bouldercolorado.gov/bond projects. You may have noticed a few other visible improvements around town this year. University Hill is taking out trash in new ways. We have a new library in North Boulder, and the City of Boulder launched a new website and mobile app. But sometimes it's the things you don't see that can make the biggest difference in the safety and quality of life of a community.
Cleanup efforts on University Hill are moving forward with the donation of 4 trash and recycling bins from Western Disposal. The bins were installed at high-traffic areas on the hill over spring break. Western hopes the donation will help prevent littering in the area and divert recyclable materials from the landfill.
We believe there are issues up here that we want to be a part of helping to solve and to improve.
Today is the first step in a multi-year process that's been going on about how to make the Hill neighborhood and the Hill Commercial District kind of work as one and integrate services across the whole Hill area.
Another library is opening its doors in Boulder, but this one is a little smaller. This little library is opening in North Boulder's Holiday Park next week, and its unique design isn't its only distinctive quality. Open 24 hours a day, the little library has a give a book, take a book approach to book sharing.
The Boulder Public Library is filling it full of books, but then community members borrow a book and return it or bring some of their own and keep it filled up. So it becomes a reading resource for the whole neighborhood.
The new library debuted on World Book Night, a national campaign to offer free, specially printed books to lighter non-readers across the country. A team of volunteers helped spread the love of reading in Boulder.
It's very exciting. They're giving out 500,000 books with 25,000 volunteers all tonight, April 23rd. And it's Shakespeare's birthday, and so they've worked with authors and the publishers to print special editions of the books to be given away. And we registered 10 givers to work as a group and give them out here in North Boulder tonight.
200 community members received books through the World Book Night campaign. The new little library is set to open in Holiday Park next week. The city is using new ultraviolet light technology to safely treat Boulder's wastewater before sending it downstream. The new UV lights disinfection system replaced the chlorine and sulfur dioxide gas systems that were in place since 1990. Here's a look at this safer and more efficient new technology.
The upgrade to ultraviolet light was not a regulatory mandate, but the city viewed it as a very important replacement of aging infrastructure. Our existing system was about 23 years old, so in our terms that was kind of getting near the end of a useful life. And we believe it aligns with the community goals in that we're moving away from a chemical treatment step.
The new UV light technology kills microorganisms without using chemicals. Boulder's facility treats 12.5 million gallons of wastewater per day before safely returning it to Boulder Creek.
We're not using chemical disinfectants, we're using electrical energy to achieve that inactivation of microorganisms.
A new look and a new way to interact with bouldercolorado.gov. The City of Boulder launched an updated website last week with a fresh design and several improved features. Nick Grossman stopped by to walk me through.
This is the City of Boulder's new website. It features a new layout and design that are more reflective of the community that we live in. And it's got a number of new features that we think are gonna make it easier for our users to navigate and find the information they need.
Boulder Middle School students worked together solving problems and came together as a team to fight fires earlier this week. The day-long hands-on training was a partnership between Boulder Fire Rescue and Boulder Housing Services. The students spent time with firefighters to learn about their jobs and the steps they took to get there.
There you go.
We have about 18 kids today.
What do you think a name should be?
Firebusters. Firebusters. Most of them are middle school age kids that live in the city of Boulder.
There you go.
One of the mainstays of being a firefighter is being part of a team. So we really want to get that across to them. It's really important. So they were doing a little team building in the classroom. We'll have a cone set up with a soccer ball, and they'll be able to use the hose and see how much water goes through a hose, and that is in and of itself again another point that you're like, wow, that's really strong.
This
is a collaboration between the Family Resource Center and the Boulder Fire Department, and it's a kind of a summer's program where we're trying to bring kids to have a more familiarity with emergency services, in this case the fire department, as to what do they do, and explore career options.
A part of being a firefighter is you gotta stay in shape.
And a lot of times this age group doesn't really get exposed to us, like I said, on a day-to-day basis, or even career counseling, reaching out in the schools to show them that this is a great profession to be in. So it's a really great opportunity for us to show the kids how exciting firefighting is, to have them do some hands-on activities, and to think of it as a possible career.
You know, firefighters are out there in the community, and their job is dangerous. And what they do right now is just show them some closeness to the individuals as to that human side. You know, that sometimes you see with the uniform, or they show up with the you know, the equipment, and they're working, so they cannot take a moment and just communicate. And then you show that individual, that neighborly face. You know, that say like, well, I'm part of this community too, and I'm working hard to make this place more friendly, more safe for all of us.
Nice work. You're welcome. Good job.
The kids also had a chance to spend time learning from Boulder Police and OSMP Rangers during the training days. The goal of the program is to reach out to Boulder youth and to build better relationships with city services and help them think about possible career choices.
226 arrival.
Last week, Inside Boulder News rode along with police officers who are part of a new unit that is focusing on proactive involvement and enforcement in Central Boulder. The Neighborhood Impact Team works to meet the community's needs in high-density areas like the Pearl Street Mall and University Hill. The team also works closely with CU Police to address issues on campus and on the Hill. Here's a look at how the police departments work together to respond effectively.
You guys are going to be totally safe. No alcohol tonight?
Not only do we address problems directly on campus, but we're also able to address problems off campus. We work really closely with Sergeant Byfield and his Neighborhood Impact Team, and part of that goes just in the nature of what we do, covering each other on calls, and we do that quite a bit. But there's a lot of spillover from the university onto the Hill.
How's it going, guys?
Pretty good. How you doing today?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
You coming back from the slopes?
Oh, no, we were sledding.
Oh, how was the snow?
It was pretty awesome.
Is it getting better?
Yeah.
We understand that our students are going to impact our community, both positively and sometimes in negative ways. And we want to be there to help address some of those issues as a university. That all starts on campus. A lot of our students come on their first year as freshmen and sophomores, and they're living in the dorms. It may be the first time that they deal with law enforcement. And so we try and set the tone right off the bat here by making sure that the contacts are positive, but that we are looking for strict enforcement. And we like to think that the students that we're talking to and dealing with this year are the Hill residents next year. And so education is a huge part of that. How to live within your community.
Is that your car?
How to be civic minded. So education plays a huge role along with the traditional enforcement side.
Oh, I understand.
Deliveries and stuff.
I understand.
If you'd like to contact an officer on the Neighborhood Impact Team, call dispatch at 303-441-3333.
That's all the time we have this week. Thank you for watching Inside Boulder News. We'll continue our recap of 2013 next week, starting with flood coverage. Stay in touch with us on Facebook and Twitter by submitting news tips and questions. You can also sign up to receive video updates right in your inbox. Just go to boulderchannel8.com and click on subscribe.